Do I hate Kagurabachi? No. I actually like this series a lot. Do I think there are a lot of flaws worth mentioning? Absolutely. Kagurabachi is the new battle shonen that has swept the nation. It came out to a significant amount of fanfare through memes, video reviews, and even the author acknowledging how insane the hype for Kagurabachi was with its first few chapters. Now that it's been running for a few months, I thought I'd give my opinion on how the series has stacked up to the initial hype days. Kagurabachi stars Chihiro, a cool as fuck shonen protagonist that has a shitty face scar, a cool sword that most likely took up most of the character design stage, and a plot so flimsy that it makes John Wick look like the last temptation of Christ. I am so sick and tired of revenge plots and organizations and stupid magical swords and basically everything that Kagurabachi is. It's not even that the setting, a retro-futuristic Japan, has been done so many times recently with other Jump manga. It's that the author, Takeru Hokazono, has clearly shown to have talents above and beyond what we've seen with Kagurabachi over the last 15 chapters. There are so many issues with the writing and pacing. In chapter 2, there's a flashback sequence within another flashback. And I don't know, maybe it's because I learned how to write through what we would now call traditional means through public school and post-secondary, but you absolutely do not put a flashback within another flashback. It shows a lack of awareness of the pacing for the series and a lack of trust with your reader because you can't give them exposition as it's happening in real time. You have to condense it into a flashback, which automatically makes the reader assume that they have to pay attention to this significant scene. Meanwhile, it could have just been written better within the current flow of where the characters are at. I really don't understand the world that the characters inhabit. I never liked when mangaka tried to blend the traditional / futuristic Japan aesthetic thing in manga. First off, IRL Japan is as technologically advanced as fucking Chicago. So are we really to believe that every city in this manga is blended like this? The reason why this becomes a problem in manga is that it brings into question how effective firearms, sword weaponry, and the power system are in the world and against one another. Kagurabachi leaned into the city-level destruction very early, and several organizations / oppositions already exist. So I think the whole battle system and world of this series is going to be overly convoluted. Why is Chihiro a protege? His father was just a blacksmith, so it seems weird for him to have such a strong and complete skill set if he's only been training for 3 years. I gotta put this one on the editor. This falls into the demographic genre argument. Shonen series can only get greenlit, it seems, if it follows familiar, successful tropes, thus eradicating the importance of a genre. So long as a series looks like Demon Slayer, talks like Chainsaw Man, and smells like Jujutsu Kaisen, yeah, you're good to go. I don't think the writing's super funny. Using that little girl as a vehicle for the hungry shonen trope and having her quirky answer ahead of the questions she's being asked, it's not funny to me. Oh, but man, Chihiro and his stupid scar. What a stupid fucking scar. Why do mangaka make such obtuse, ugly scars nowadays? Aliens Area, Doran Dororan, those protagonists had some bad scars. Zoro, Kenshin, Luffy, Yamcha, Tanjiro, Yuji, all of those characters have iconic scars, but they're also relatively simple. And I think that's something that mangaka who are writing shonen series tend to forget. This ultimately leads to my biggest complaint. Hokazono isn't a bad artist, but they don't draw to the best of their capabilities. Notice the faces. They are refusing to draw a unique face. Not that they can't, they just choose not to. Chins slope at the same ratio. There's no variance to any of the character design. It's crazy because I'm sure they're aware of this limitation. And again, I'm going to have to put this on the editor. Notice how most of the characters introduced so far all share the same eye shape, nose, and eyebrow structure. but the pupils are very distinctive from one another. So Hokuzono is obviously aware of differentiating his cast, but the shortcuts are a detriment to the character design overall. And you know what? Why is the food drawn so much better than the people? Is this a copy pasta from the reference or AI? I just don't understand why you would ether yourself like 3 times sequentially in a single chapter. I would have liked this series more if it didn't have a power system. I know energy beams and being hurled through buildings is what impresses children, but I really do think shonen audiences have matured over the past decade. Not everything has to follow the heavy hitters from before. When you introduce a battle shonen with crazy powers immediately, you now stack this series against all of the other ilk. That is why Do Retry died so early. That series could still be running today, and it could be pretty hot if it didn't have to lean into all of the powers and the abilities and all of that bullshit. In Kagurabachi, the goldfish are really lame. None of the antagonists so far have been interesting. Chihiro hasn't really encountered that much adversity in battle so far. I don't know, it's just so many fucking flaws. Now, despite all of my concerns, I think Kagurabachi does a lot of things well. Every chapter is entertaining, even if it feels paint by numbers and looks too familiar to other series that I have watched and read recently. Like I said, the mangaka is really good at art, and I can tell with the way he designs his characters and even the way he's introducing his characters that he has a bigger story in mind, but I also feel that they're purposefully restraining themselves just so they don't get cancelled. And I completely get it, yes I do, but with all of my aforementioned points from before, none of these series have been able to maintain their hype. It's really unfortunate that Kagurabachi, which is still doing well in the rankings, it's not getting the same shine that it originally was, and a lot of that shine in the beginning was just memeable. I don't think anyone really thought this series would be as good as what we wanted it to be. Fuck, I love a good meme, but I legitimately thought maybe there's something here, or maybe the mangaka will capitalize on this extremely rare opportunity that he has. I don't think this is a bad manga. I do think there are a lot of things that is exciting about it, and I'm going to continue reading it. I think it's a lot better than some of the other cancelled manga over the last year and a half in Shonen Jump. Kagurabachi is an exciting battle shonen, I just don't think it's a great battle shonen. Hopefully it can improve in the new year, and I hope it can last a while because there is something here, and I would like to see it develop properly over time. 4 out of 10.